One of the most persistent questions that educators have about open educational resources has to do with where to find them and how to know if something is released as an open resource. Since everything is copyrighted by default under United States copyright law, if you find something that is not clearly labeled, you generally have to assume that it's copyrighted. So we can really only use open educational resources as open educational resources if they are labeled in that way. So to help you with this, we have provided some tools to help you find open educational resources more easily here on our website. We have a list of different types of open educational resources. I'll just look at a few of these. The first that I like to start with is Wikimedia Commons. This is a library or repository of media that Wikipedia uses to store all of its images, video, and audio. So if you come to Wikimedia Commons and type in, for instance, polar bear, if I'm looking for an image of a polar bear, here I receive lots of different results. If I click on one of these results, I'll get a preview, and down here in the bottom left, it'll show me the license. Now this is a CC BY 2.5 license. If you don't understand what that means, you can click on it, but really don't worry about it at this point. This is just meant to be a very quick way for you to see what the license is. If you want more information about this, you can click More Details, and it will take you to the Images page. Then if you scroll down, you'll have a licensing section that tells you what you're free to do. So for this image, we are free to share it and remix it, as long as we attribute it and as long as we share alike. So we can use this image in any of our creations as long as we attribute it. So we give the author proper attribution and we share it again. That means that we could sell this image if we want. That's not prohibited. Now, if you look over here on the right side, you have a link to use this file on the web. If you click on that, you have an attribution statement here that you can copy and paste. And so this can help address that attribution requirement. So you can find millions of pictures on Wikimedia Commons. Another great place to go for pictures is Flickr. Flickr is a social image sharing site where people take pictures and upload their pictures. But when people upload pictures, they have the option of labeling them for reuse. So you can find pictures that have been labeled for reuse by going to flickr.com/Creative Commons. Here you'll see all the different Creative Commons licenses, and if you want to know more about these licenses, you can go to creativecommons.org to understand exactly what you can do with each. But under each of these licenses, you will see millions of photos that have been released under that license. So for instance, the attribution license, or the CC BY license, has over 58 million images on Twitter. So that means that we are free to use these images for any purpose that we want, as long as we cite the author. Another great site for educators is OER Commons. This has all kinds of open educational resources and really just serves as a portal to open educational resources. So if I click Browse All, I can then go by subject area or grade level or by material type and find something that's useful for me. So whereas most open educational resources you find on the web are articles or images or audio files, OER Commons expands that to include more educational type products like lesson plans. Also, there's good old Google. So I think most people will use a search engine for starting their search for resources. So say we type in polar bear, and then we click images to just see the images of polar bears. Here we get lots of images. Lots of these may be really appealing for us, but the problem is some of these may be copyrighted. So if I come over here and click Search Tools, I have a drop down for usage rights, and here I can choose to just show things that can be reused, things that can be reused with modification, and so forth. So if I click Reuse with Modification, I still get lots of different image results. If I click on these, I can see where the image comes from, and I can go view the image or visit the page. Notice that many of these results are still coming from Wikipedia or Wikimedia Commons. Then the final resource I'd like to show you is CK12. This is a free online textbook library. So people have created textbooks and they share them, and they are a place for you to come and copy these textbooks, take pieces out, just use the pieces that you want. So if you scroll down on the main page, you see lots of different subject areas. So if I click arithmetic under math, I can go to specific sections, and these are meant to be chapters or subchapters of a textbook focused on a specific topic. But there's also a Flexbook textbooks tab up here. When you click on that, you have entire textbooks of content. So if I want a grade 6 textbook, I can just click on this, and this will have open educational content that's been created and organized to address the needs of a 6th grade classroom. Over here, you'll notice that I can download it as a PDF. I can download it as an ebook format as well. I can also add these to my own Flexbook textbooks. So CK12 allows you to create your own textbook pulling from pieces of different textbooks that are in CK12. All of the content in CK12 is released under a Creative Commons license. That is clearly stated in the PDF when you download it, but also notice down here at the very bottom there's a Creative Commons NC license, which means that you are free to use this content for anything that you want as long as you're not selling it.